Welcome again, everyone. I hope you are ready for today's class. We're going to start laying down. So find your way over to your yoga mat or wherever you would like to start your class today. And if laying down doesn't seem like the best option for you, you can always choose your own adventure, maybe seated, starting seated, or even standing, or you could lie on your side. We just want to get into some kind of restful position so we can kind of clear and ground as we transition into this kind of sacred space, this sacred time of our yoga practice, our self care practices. So, getting comfortable, maybe lying in Shavasana, corpse pose, or constructive rest pose with your knees bent and your feet standing up at the edges of your mat. And if so, maybe allowing your knees to rest together at the center. Let your arms, your hands, your head, everything else in your body just find their way. Somewhere comfortable and cozy. If stillness feels welcome to you, sinking on in to a few minutes here of stillness. If you like to keep moving a little bit, maybe finding some kind of rhythmic rocking or fidgeting that soothes you. And if possible, coming into your body. Sometimes we're so busy, so stressed during the day, we're not even having a moment to think of our physical bodies or to kind of drop in. So for now, just start to get curious about how your body is feeling. So starting at your feet, your toes, just noticing any sensations or messages or good feelings, painful feelings, anything that's going on through the feet. And sometimes if your feet kind of feel offline or you kind of haven't been connected to your body much, sometimes wiggling or tapping your feet or just kind of moving the areas of the body will go through. Sometimes that can kind of bring you back, bring those areas back online. So just, again, feet, and then your calves and your shins, the lower part of the legs, noticing any sensations there. Your knees, upper legs, your thighs, your hamstrings. And noticing each hip joint. Noticing the entire pelvis, the glutes, and everything else. Noticing your stomach. Any sensations to your stomach or your low back? Your mid back, rib cage, upper back, and chest. Just noticing your entire torso now. Any sensations there? How about the shoulders and armpits? Your upper arms, elbows, lower arms, or the forearm kind of area. Noticing your wrists and your hands. Anything going on through the arms and hands? Feel the part of your upper back or shoulders that presses down the most into the floor or mat beneath you. And then ascending upwards to your neck, your throat, your jaw, the back of your head, your face, the inside of your head. And just go ahead and kind of sweep through the body, your awareness moving through your body, any interesting sensations, or just kind of feeling everything together now. And then moving into the emotional realm, just kind of reflecting on your day, reflecting on this moment. How are you feeling? Can you identify an emotion or two that you're currently feeling? And if you've had a particularly stressful or rough day earlier, I invite you to consider kind of thinking about that as before. And just kind of see if you can tap into what emotions are present right now. Is there a way that those maybe negative emotions from earlier are no longer present in this moment? Maybe. And acknowledging however it is that you're feeling, knowing that you don't have to change how you feel. All emotions are valid. All emotions are worthy of being felt. So, trying not to deny reality. Just being with it here. Let's begin to call in the breath. Maybe you're already noticing your breath. If not, just becoming aware of the air entering the nose, filling the lungs. Maybe you can feel your belly expanding, tapping into some diaphragmatic breath here with your inhales. Really letting the torso, especially the belly and the rib cage, expand and soften with each breath. But let it feel easy and natural. Smoothing out your face. Letting your body just be kind of heavy and grounded, restful for now. I would like to share a little quote here from Deepak Chopra. If you obsess over whether you are making the right decision, you are basically assuming that the universe will reward you for one thing and punish you for another. The universe has no fixed agenda. Once you make any decision, it works around that decision. There is no right or wrong, only a series of possibilities that shift with each thought, feeling, and action that you experience. I'm going to read that last part again. Once you make any decision, it works around that decision. There is no right or wrong, only a series of possibilities that shift with each thought, feeling, and action that you experience. So, considering that there is no right or wrong in your choosing here, in our yoga class, we can practice this on kind of a micro level. Maybe you can relate that to the rest of your life or different decisions in your life as well. But for now, we're going to practice just considering that there is no right or wrong choice when it comes to pose variations, using more props, skipping parts, etc. We can move and work with whatever choices you make. So go ahead, if you'd like to set an intention, go ahead and set one now. Maybe something you'd like to focus on or grow in your life. Maybe dedicating your practice to someone or a group of people in your life who need extra love sent their way. And if you've had quite the day and you feel like just continuing to rest, you're welcome to stay here longer, as always. If you're ready to move, let's start to wiggle fingers and toes. Maybe circling through ankles and wrists a couple of times. Continuing to move and awaken your body, maybe heading into a long body stretch next, like you're waking up from a big nap. All right, if you had any props under your head or body, maybe moving those to the side now as we cue up some breathing bridge pose here. I'd like to offer up the alternative to breathing bridge pose with restorative supported bridge pose. You could just rest your pelvis up on a block if you'd like. You can choose that option anytime. Otherwise, we're pressing the hands down into the mat, the elbows and the upper shoulders, maybe tucking your shoulder blades in together so that your chest kind of puffs up here. Pick up all of your toes, spread them out, give your feet and your toes a little stretch, and then set them down. With an inhale, let's start to lift the pelvis, reaching those hip points up toward the sky. Option to stay lifted here or grab that block and slide it underneath the pelvis now. If you want to flow with it, let's use an exhale to lower down. We'll have 2 more rounds of breath here. Inhaling to lift up. Exhaling to lower. One more time. Inhale to lift. Let's stay lifted here for the exhale. One more inhale with the option to pick up the heels, pressing into your tippy toes. And then exhale to lower your heels, lower the pelvis all the way down, sliding that block out from underneath you if you were up on one. Let's hug the knees in toward the chest. Just feeling some opening and stretching through that low back. And then option to take some free movement here, just kind of swaying through the lower half of the body, circling the knees, getting some of that heavenly massaging pressure going into the low back and the sacrum. If you're on a hard surface, you can kind of feel that a little bit better. If you're on a carpeted surface, sometimes it's hard to get that nice deep massaging pressure feel, but just work with what you've got going. All right. Let's find a happy baby here. So you can either just keep holding your knees and hugging them in toward your armpits. If you can reach, maybe grabbing onto the inside or outside edges of your feet and then pulling your knees in toward the armpits. And go ahead and take a couple of breaths here. If it feels like you're straining too much to grab the feet, you can always hold on behind the thighs or adjust anytime. And either staying here in happy baby or kind of playing around a little bit, maybe straightening one leg while you bend the other knee and vice versa. Just getting a little bit of play going here. You can even kind of imagine or remember what it was like to be a baby. Or if you've ever seen or recently seen a baby playing with their feet, they literally do this happy baby kind of thing. So play with it a little bit if you like. Another option here would be to bring the soles of the feet together and kind of hold on around the feet. I like to interlace my fingers and just kind of pull the feet in. So it's kind of like a reclined butterfly like effect. Lots of different variations here with our happy baby. Wherever you're exploring, let's just take about 1 or 2 more breaths. And then release whatever you're holding on to. Let's find another long body stretch here, opening up the front of those hips again, reaching and stretching the arms and legs long in opposite directions. Go ahead and circle out your ankles a couple of times, both directions. Good to move all of our joints whenever we can. Good, good, good. All right, let's roll over onto either side through the fetal position and then press your way on up to a comfortable seat. You can always come up to blocks or a chair for your convenience and comfort, or taking a cross-legged variation works too. Let's tent the fingertips up and just sit up nice and tall, lengthening up through the crown of the head. Just kind of feeling this nice seated position, kind of making a triangle with the body here. And then just let your chin come down toward the center of your chest. Let your shoulders kind of melt down and away. Check in again here with the back of your neck. And then allow your right ear to roll over toward the right shoulder. You can stay here a while. You could, with the right ear by your right shoulder, you could turn and twist your gaze down toward the right hand and then up toward the ceiling. Again, keeping that right ear kind of toward the right shoulder. Lots of different angles and opportunities here to open up that left side of the neck. When you're ready to explore farther, let's dip the chin back down to the center of the chest, and then roll your right ear, your left ear now toward your left shoulder. Pausing there, let that right shoulder relax down and away. And then keeping your left ear over toward your left shoulder, go ahead and twist and look down toward that left hand. And then up toward the ceiling. You don't have to go too far here. Just go nice and slow and just feel what's going on there through that left or that right side of your neck now. And just freestyle here for a little bit. You could rock your head side to side, dipping down through center. You could spend a little more time doing that kind of twisting up and down. Just got a little bit of a flow going here. Giving your neck some love, some attention, some care. Sometimes I get so surprised doing these poses. I think like, oh, my neck is totally fine today. And then I'll take time to notice and realize that, whoa, there's a lot going on here in my neck today. Funny how that works. All right. Whenever you've had enough, let's bring the chin down toward the center of the chest. And with an inhale, start to look up toward the sky like you're kind of drawing a line up with your nose. And then back down with an exhale to chin to your chest. So we're inhaling and we're slowly looking up. Sticking your chin out a little bit at the end just to feel a little bit of a stretch on the jaw. And exhaling to lower your chin back down. One more time. This time we're going to inhale and look up. With your exhale, come back to neutral. All right, let's keep moving along now. Let's come to hands and knees next for our cat and cow flow. Hands will be beneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips. With your inhale, start to lower your belly, lift your gaze and your tailbone. Find your cow pose. And exhale to round up through the spine, tucking your chin, tucking your tailbone, press the floor away. Feel free to add a little bit of a sway in here through the shoulders or the hips. And now's your time to play and flow. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat. You can explore farther, inhaling to cow. And exhaling to cat. If you ever forget which part of the breath goes where, I always like to kind of imagine that when you're doing cat pose, you're kind of like pushing the air out of your lungs. So good for warming up the spine, warming up the hands and wrists, the pelvis. We're getting a little bit of tilting here as well. Can be great for the low back. Where else do you feel things happening? Okay. And then we'll head back to extended child's pose with the knees out wide toward the edges of your mat, big toes touching behind you. Go ahead and start to sink your seat toward your heels, only as much as your knees will allow. You can always stay lifted and then lower down the upper body. Make it your own. Maybe sinking your head and your heart toward the floor. If you'd like to take a prayer hand variation, we're joining the palms together up at the top of your mat. And then bend your elbows so that your thumbs end up maybe even touching the back of your neck. Prayer hands. Feel into 3 rounds of diaphragmatic breath here. So belly breathing. Breathe deep and low. See what kind of space you can create with your breath. And when you're ready, let's plant the hands back up on the floor and then rise up to tabletop, hands and knees. Let's find our way to downward dog here. If you've got your blocks handy and you like to use them, we're bringing those up at the top, hands gripping into those blocks so they're very active. Curl your toes under, start to lift your tailbone, reaching the tailbone high. Press into your hands, reach through your shoulders, especially pressing between the thumb and the pointer finger. That'll help get a little bit of that extra pressure out of the wrists. With an inhale, let's rise up to the tippy toes here. And then exhale, lower your heels just to a comfortable amount. They never have to touch the floor. Inhale, rise up to your tippy toes. Exhale, lower your heels a bit. One more time, inhaling to rise up to the tippy toes. And exhaling to sink the heels, getting a little bit of stretch through the calves. If you want to pedal your legs out, bending and straightening opposite legs a couple times, go ahead and do that here. Just keep breathing. If it ever feels like too much to be upside down like this, you could have your hands on the wall or your hands on your couch or a chair or a counter. That'll get a little bit of that pressure out of your head. With an inhale, bend your knees, look up to the top of your mat. Exhale, step or walk your feet behind your hands for ragdoll forward fold. Let your upper body be nice and loose here. We're getting a little bit of traction. We're working with gravity. Make sure you continue to breathe. Maybe finding a little bit of swaying here. Maybe you nod your head yes and shake your head no a little bit. And then bending into your knees, walk your hands up your legs as you slowly rise up to stand. When you eventually get to the top, let's get a nice shake going through your body and just let it kind of just come out how it will today. So maybe you start by shaking your arms or your shoulders or your hands. Maybe you lift and lower your heels and you find a little bounce going through your body. Maybe this turns into some kind of expressive dance, or maybe you need to let out a little bit of anger, punching a pillow or punching in the air a little bit. You can jump a little bit here. We're just getting a nice big shake going through the body. Get that circulation flowing, letting go of stagnant energy in our bodies, maybe moving parts of the body that haven't gotten a lot of time to move today so far. All right, whenever you're feeling Done with your shake, let's come up to the top of the mat. Take a look down at your feet. Make sure they're at a comfortable distance from each other. Spin your palms to face the front of your space and just let it feel like an expansion through your chest here. We don't want to get into back bend territory though, so just make sure that your core is a little bit engaged so you stay upright. You can close your eyes if that feels good to you and just feel what it's like to be in mountain pose, Tadasana, here today. How content are you today to just be standing in mountain pose? Is it possible to have a beginner's mind as if this was the first time that you were upright standing in mountain pose? What are you noticing today? Physically, emotionally, mentally, just about this position. Let's take 3 clearing breaths. Inhale through your nose. Exhale with a sigh. In through your nose. Sigh through your mouth. One more time, your own timing here. All right, inhale, reach your arms up and overhead, savoring every little part along the way. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bring your hands to the floor, step 1 foot back and then the other. Let's come to downward dog. Inhale. Exhale, roll forward, high plank, shoulders over wrists. 1 breath in here. Exhale, downward dog. Take a big breath in. Exhale, high plank, shoulders over wrists. Just 1 more breath here. Exhale, lower your knees, move those blocks to the side, and then lower your chest all the way down. I'm going to cue up some mobility work here through our shoulders. If you have blocks or anything close by, you might want to move them out of your way. We're going to be moving our hands around our space like we're doing a big snow angel. So, excuse me. For now, press the tops of your feet down into your mat so much that your lower body is starting to be engaged. Your knees kind of start popping up. Your glutes are working. Your thighs are working. Just like in baby cobra, lift your head and your chest, but just go about halfway. We don't want to go to our full baby cobra today. Just about halfway will do. Hover your hands up off of the floor. This will be our starting point here. You can either just stay here and hold, plenty of work. If you want to move with it, let's reach the hands straight out in front of you, palms facing the floor. Take a breath in. With your exhale, swim those hands around to the sides and back. So you end up with your palms facing up just above the sacrum, the low back area. With your inhale, reach those hands around and back to the top of your mat. Exhale, swim them back, palms facing up on top of the sacrum. 1 more time, lots of work here. Inhale, reaching forward. Exhale, reaching back. Staying here for 1 more breath in. Exhale, lower down, crocodile pose. Stack your hands or your fists underneath your forehead. Rest your forehead on top. Splay your heels out to the side. Maybe rock your hips a little bit side to side if that helps you kind of loosen up through the low back. Take some nice deep diaphragmatic breaths here and see how quickly you can go from that very activated state to a nice soft present state again. It's kind of like the concept, like, quick, relax. One more breath in, softer yet. Breath out. Feel free to sigh if you want. Plant your hands next to your chest. Start to press your way up to tabletop and then back to child's pose. Your version. Big breath in. Send your breath all the way down to the sacrum. Of course, that's not physically possible, but that cue, I just love it. It really sends breath to a whole different level, I think. One more breath in. One more breath out. We're gonna curl the toes under here and rise back up to tabletop. So toes are curling under, and just pick up your knees enough and walk your hands to the back of your mat. So you end up in a forward fold at the back. Take your time. With an inhale, let's halfway lift. Nice flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, reaching the arms around, joining palms overhead. Exhale, hands come down to your heart center. Heart center, find your center, create this moment where you're reminded here at heart center that there's part of you, this everlasting part of you here. No matter what's going on around you, part of you can come back here to this peaceful, restful, loving awareness that resides here at the heart. It takes practice to cultivate this space. So just now, letting the thumbs kind of touch into the heart center. Find your way there. And let's take a clearing breath. Inhale through your nose. Sigh to release. Blinking your eyes open. Let your hands come down by your sides. We're going to do a little balancing series here. We'll do our marching twist. So bring your feet out to a comfortable distance, maybe hip width or even wider, your call. And we're going to shift all of the weight onto the right foot, finding your way to one-legged mountain pose. Toes can stay down or flex that left ankle and bring that left knee to about hip height. Just really hug in your lower abdominals to help that stay lifted. So it'll look a little bit different depending on your variation. We're going to do kind of a two-part twist here. I'll do it from the front so you can see. We have got that left knee lifted. Our first variation, we're just going to twist the upper body toward the left and then come back to the center. And the second variation, we're going to just lift that left knee or open that left knee out to the left side and then come back to center. So go ahead and play with that a little bit here as we get used to it. Just twisting a little to the left with just the upper body. Come back to the center. And then open that left knee out toward the left side, opening up that hip, and then coming back in. Your toes can always kind of stay on the floor for support as you go. When you get back to center, straighten that left leg, touch your left heel down, and step into your left foot. With an inhale, find one-legged mountain pose with that right knee lifting. Breathe here. When you're ready, use an exhale to twist just the upper body toward the right. Go really slow. The slower, the better, I think. Coming back to center with an inhale. Exhale, open that right knee out toward the right side. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, straighten that right foot, touch your right heel down and step into the right foot. Do that one more time on each side. Inhale, left knee lifts, one-legged mountain. Exhale, twist just the upper body slightly to the left. Inhale, come back. Talk about an active twist here. Exhale, left knee reaches out toward the left side, opening up that hip. Inhale, come back. Exhale, straighten that left foot, take a step forward one last time. Inhale, one-legged mountain, right knee lifts. Exhale, upper body twist to the right. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, right leg opens up. Inhale, come back in. Exhale, step down. Whew. Good job. All right. With an inhale, reach both hands up and overhead. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bring your hands to the floor or blocks. We're stepping the left foot back first and then the right, straight to down dog. Big breath in. Exhale, high plank, shifting forward. One breath in. Exhale, downward dog. Just one breath in. Exhale, high plank. One last breath here in high plank. Inhale. Exhale, lower your knees, move those blocks to the side, and then lower your chest. Let's go through one more round of that shoulder mobility work here. So getting into place as if you're doing baby cobra, pressing the tops of your feet down a lot. Low back, or the lower back stays safer if our glutes are working. Our lower body is kind of engaged here as well. Find that baby cobra lift through the chest, but just about halfway. With an inhale, you can either hover your hands up off of the floor or begin to reach forward in front of you with your palms facing down. And exhale, swim those hands around and meeting up with the palms stacked on top of each other on top of the sacrum. Inhale, reach those hands around and up to the top of your mat. Exhale, swim them back and around, stacking palms on top of the sacrum. One more time, inhale, reaching forward. Exhale, back. Stay lifted here, pulling the shoulder blades together for one last inhale. And exhale, lower down, crocodile pose again, resting your forehead on top of your hands or a block. Let your heels splay out to the sides. And again, quick, relax. I think that's funny for some reason. Getting in control of the breath is very helpful for settling everything back down. Nice deep and low belly breaths. Just about one more breath here, and feel free to sigh it out when you're done. And in your own timing, bringing your hands to either side of the chest here, pressing your way up to tabletop, and then back to child's pose. Breathing all the way down to the sacrum. Just 2 breaths here. One more breath. With an inhale, come on up to tabletop, curl your toes under, and then just walk your hands back to forward fold at the back. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep those arms around and up, joining palms overhead at the top. And exhale, hands come down to heart center. Have a couple moments here, breathing and cultivating this timeless space here at heart center. And let's take a clearing breath together. Inhale through your nose, fill all the way up. Exhale, sigh it out. Blinking your eyes open. Let your hands come down if you like. Getting ready for another round of our balancing series. This time we're going to reverse the side, or we're going to do the leg opening first, and then the upper body twist. So go ahead and shift all of your weight now over to the left foot first. Find your one-legged mountain pose. Remember, it's no problem to keep your toes down for extra support. I like to have my hands at heart center. Just feels right. You do you. Take a breath in wherever you're at. With your exhale, open up just that right leg out toward the right side. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twist through the upper body toward the right. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, straighten that right leg, step the right foot down. Breathe like normal here until you're ready. With an inhale, pull that left knee up to one-legged mountain pose. Exhale, left knee reaches out toward the left side. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, upper body twist to the left. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, straighten that left leg, touch your heel down, step into your left foot. One more time on both sides here. We're inhaling as we lift the right knee. Exhale, open that right knee to the right side. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, upper body twisting to the right slightly. Inhale, come back. Exhale, straighten that right leg, step into the right foot. Just keep going at your own pace here. Just remembering we inhale as we lift, or come back to center. We exhale as we open or twist, so left knee out to the left side. Inhale, bringing it back to center. Exhale, twist toward the left. Inhale, come back. And exhale, step it down to the floor. Nice. All right, give it a little shake if you like. We'll just have one big breath in as you sweep the arms around and up, joining palms overhead, option to look up. Exhale, circling your arms back around and down, just to your sides. Let's do it again. We're inhaling, reaching up, looking up if you want. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. Clearing breath now in through your nose. Sigh through your mouth. All right, go ahead and come down to the floor. Make your way down to your mat. And then down to your back. You can pull your knees in with you. Or once you get to the floor, just take a little bit more of that free movement here. Just extra slow. Letting the weight shift over your low back. Pressing, loosening, massaging, pressure. And then we'll take a little side bend here. We'll do banana pose. So we'll reach the arms out long, arms and legs out long, then walk your heels over toward the right edge of your mat. Grab hold of the left wrist and pull your upper body over, or the arms up over toward that right side. So you create that nice banana-like shape through the lower body. Gotta get a nice little side bend in here today. And imagining or sensing that you're breathing even more into that left lung, noticing what the breath and the expansion of your lungs can do for this pose. And whenever you're ready to switch, go ahead, walk those heels over toward the left edge of your mat, grab hold of your right wrist and direct your upper body kind of over toward the left. So you're creating that nice banana bend, side bend this time, focusing on that right lung. Breathing into that right lung, expanding through the right side, creating space and length. Go ahead and release this banana pose when you're ready. Go ahead and take any last little movements, poses, or stretches that you would like before your final resting pose. And then when you're ready, finding a comfortable resting pose for our final rest. And maybe it's similar to how you started today in Shavasana, corpse pose, or constructive rest pose. Maybe you find another variation. Just get as comfortable as you can. They say you're supposed to kind of make your body symmetrical, but I feel like you can do what feels best. So symmetry if you want, asymmetry if that feels best. And maybe closing the eyes as you reach toward this restful place. And we're breathing and resting here. Letting your eyes rest, smoothing out your face. I like to imagine the body growing heavy, almost like you have a nice weighted blanket over top of each body part. If you like that sensation, sometimes people don't, but if you like that kind of heavy sense of groundedness, maybe imagining that. If you prefer more of an expansive, light, airy feel, maybe you sense your body becoming lighter. Maybe you kind of oscillate between the two sensations, heaviness, weightlessness. Experimenting here with what makes you feel restful. So maybe it's focusing on your breath. Maybe it's just not trying to do anything anymore. Just being here for a few more moments. Keep breathing and being right here in this moment if you can. And of course, thoughts will arise from time to time at least. When they do, just kind of notice them, see if you can catch yourself thinking. And maybe setting that thought aside for now and just continuing on this path of rest and stillness for a few more moments. And you might like to consider each time you catch yourself thinking, you might like to consider that a win. Yay! I caught myself thinking. Now back to being. Back to breathing and being. And you're always welcome to stay and rest longer. You can just ignore the rest of this class, the closing, if you want to stay and rest. Otherwise, beginning to deepen your breath and bring small little movements back into fingers and toes. Excuse me. Maybe yawning or swallowing or stretching into a long body stretch again. You're choosing your way forward here. At some point, choose a side and roll onto that side, finding the fetal position for a round of breath. Just fully present here on your side. Full inhale and exhale. And then using the help of your hands, press your way up to a comfortable seat. We'll join hands in front of the heart again, this heart center, such a special place. Feel free to join me in our closing chant, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, or just listen along, taking a breath in through your nose to prepare. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, peace, 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 peace in our actions, peace in our words, peace in our thoughts. Together, bringing thumbs to third eye center, just between and above the eyebrows. With a little gesture of gratitude, let's take a little bow forward together now. Peace. Thanks, everyone.